In the first video in this series, I talked about how Covenant interacts with a typical journey plan, using affordability, visibility, and reliability to highlight the changing role of Covenant over the course of a scheme's journey. We talked about the importance of looking forward, rather than just focusing on the numbers that are easily to hand. This video shares some of the key concepts we use in practical Covenant risk management. One key concept to consider is plausible downside scenarios. These are Covenant scenarios that lead to members suffering a shortfall. They may not be the most likely scenarios, but with the benefit of hindsight, they are scenarios that trustees could have seen coming and should have done something about. This concept is useful for refreshing your Covenant monitoring framework to be more forward-looking. Think about these scenarios. Think about how they might play out and about how you might see them coming. What are the lead indicators? Then, ideally, you start monitoring these lead indicators. But it's not always easy. You might have to use traffic lights rather than specific metrics, but it will help you anticipate these key risks and base your monitoring around the true risks to the members rather than this year's financial statements. Covenant monitoring goes hand in hand with contingency planning. What can you and will you do if your Covenant deteriorates? Thinking about plausible downsides will help you refresh your contingency planning as it provides clear scenarios to plan for and stress test what you've already put in place.
As we look further into the future, ESG factors, while very much relevant today, become more pertinent. Understanding ESG factors can be the difference between an aspirational journey plan and realising it really needs to be achieved. Schemes with assets over £1 billion are now looking at TCFD requirements, which requires them to think about climate change scenarios and how these impact investment, funding and Covenant over the short to long term. From a Covenant perspective, climate change can be a key, often unquantified risk, either linked to transition risks or the physical impact of global warming. Recent events have shown how easily supply chains can be disrupted, leaving once healthy businesses struggling to adapt. TCFD reporting is a good example of integrated risk management in practice, and many schemes are either fine-tuning their journey plans as a result of it or stepping up their monitoring and contingency planning. We would encourage all schemes to evaluate their longer-term Covenant risks by working through plausible downside scenarios and considering ESG factors from a Covenant perspective. It's a great way for trustees to engage with their sponsor, to better understand key risks from the sponsor perspective, and share trustee concerns. You might want to have a joint workshop or update your information sharing protocol. So think about, what are your key Covenant risks and how have you factored Covenant into your journey plan? Thank you for watching this video. It's the second in a series of 4 videos exploring the future of Covenant. The next 2 videos continue the theme of practical Covenant risk management with a focus on corporate transactions and Covenant risk transfer.